embracing vulnerability, the real pathway for connection. We appreciate it if you tell others, if you like what we discuss on this channel. Embracing vulnerability, the path to authentic connections and personal growth. I want you to underline the word authentic, because when you embrace your vulnerability, then you are on your original way to connecting with people. And then you will experience personal growth. Let me describe what I mean by vulnerability, and what I want to do here. In this thought-provoking discussion, I'm delving into the transformative power of embracing vulnerability as a fundamental aspect of building meaningful connections and fostering personal growth. That is the mission here. Join me as I explore the depths of vulnerability, unravel its significance, and provide insights into reframing fear. Some of us are very much afraid of our vulnerability. We don't want to talk about it. You don't want people to know about it. So what I'm trying to do here is to unravel its significance and provide insight into reframing fear and resistance as sources of strength. So you can turn your fear to strength. You can turn your resistance as a resource for strength. And through this discussion, you understand how vulnerability can lead you toward authenticity and the profound enrichment of your relationships. The essence of vulnerability. Vulnerability involves allowing yourself to be seen and understood, even when it means revealing your imperfections. No one is truly perfect, honestly. We all have our weak points. We all have our strength. So nobody is perfect. So vulnerability involves allowing yourself to be seen and understood, even when it means revealing your imperfections, your fears, and uncertainties. It's about opening up and expressing your genuine thoughts and feelings without hiding behind a facade. By embracing vulnerability, you create a space for genuine connections and authentic interactions to flourish. Building meaning and connections and for personal growth. Vulnerability is the bridge that connects hearts and minds. When you are willing to share your vulnerabilities, you trust others enough to let them in. That's it. That means you must have that person you are exposing your vulnerability to must be trustworthy enough that you want to share with such a person. So this leads to deeper emotional connections and the growth of mutual understanding. It's one of the things that connects spouses. If you are a husband or a wife and you are not embracing your vulnerability within yourself, sharing within yourself, then you don't have this deep emotional connection between yourselves. Sharing your struggles and insecurities can make you relatable, fostering empathy and compassion in others. Stepping out of your comfort zone and facing your fears head on requires vulnerability. And by acknowledging your limitations and embracing discomfort, you challenge yourself to grow and evolve. This process of self-discovery builds resilience, self-awareness, and the ability to navigate challenges with greater sense. Fear and resistance surrounding vulnerability or reframing vulnerability as strength. Many people fear vulnerability due to concerns about judgment. Some people, they feel, this person, they're judgmental. If I allow myself to, if I share my vulnerability with them, they will judge me. They will reject me. It looks as if I'm weak. Societal norms often dictate that vulnerability is a sign of inadequacy. But these fears can stem from past experiences of hurt or embarrassment. Acknowledging these fears is the first step towards dismantling them. So vulnerability is not a sign of weakness at all, but a courageous act requiring self-assuredness. You display authenticity and strength when willing to share your vulnerabilities. Reframe vulnerability as a powerful tool for growth, learning, and genuine connection. You can imagine yourself with breaking the walls. These are walls, this is somebody breaking walls to go in. Embracing vulnerability for authenticity, that's science of vulnerability. Authenticity is about being true to yourself. In being true to yourself, you need to break walls. You shed pretenses and let your authentic self shine. When you are genuine, you invite others to do the same, creating an environment where relationships are built on trust and sincerity. There are studies that demonstrate the positive effects of vulnerability on mental health, emotional well-being, and relationship satisfaction. So vulnerability releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which promotes trust and connection. So if you don't embrace your vulnerability, you will be holding on to certain things that your oxytocin will not be released. So you need to release your oxytocin, that bonding hormone that promotes trust and connection. Break that wall, shed your pretenses, be authentic, let your authentic self shine forth. Deepening relationships, overcoming cultural stigmas. Yeah, there are stigmas, some people give you some, but you can overcome them. Vulnerability paves the way for deeper relationships by allowing emotional intimacy to flourish. There are many couples, before they get married, they don't confide in each other. You don't tell each other things. And when those things are discovered after the marriage, it leads to breakup of that marriage. And in their marriage, they need to embrace their vulnerabilities. They need to be true to themselves. They need to shed all pretenses, come clean, and let their authentic self shine forward. So when both individuals are willing to share their vulnerabilities, they create a safe space where mutual support and understanding can thrive. Different cultures and societies perceive vulnerability differently. Some cultures encourage open expression of emotions and vulnerability, and some prioritize stoicism. Communication skills for vulnerability, that is balancing vulnerability with privacy. There must be a balance. In anything one does, there must be a balance. Some practical communication techniques that help individuals express their vulnerabilities effectively include active listening, empathy, and validating responses to create a safe environment for conversation vulnerability. When you are conversing with the person you are embracing your vulnerability with, the person must have listening ear, must show empathy, and then have validating responses. You just don't keep quiet. The responses that validate whatever the other person is talking about. And at times you need to maintain personal boundaries while being vulnerable. I need to caution this. There are times that you need to maintain personal boundaries while being vulnerable. You must learn how to strike a balance between sharing openly and protecting sensitive information.